just as well as you.
I am with you.
Hi.
Greetings.
G'day. G'day, everyone.
Are you live?
Yes, we are.
Oh, wow. My apologies.
Where are we? Where are we? Here we are. Hang on. Who's here? G'day, g'day. It's Saturday again. I hope you had a good week. Welcome to the Broken Hand edition, number 2. And we got Jules with us today. How you going, Jules?
Hey, hey, hey.
How was your week, love?
Same old, like last week. A little bit busier.
Yeah, same week. Just a bit of icing here.
You know what they say? You can sleep when you're dead.
Yeah,
I'm starting to feel that way.
I don't think that's true, but you know, I've never seen a spirit sleeping. A lot of people say that. Oh, please, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm thinking, you don't need to sleep when you're dead.
At least I'll hopefully get a good nap.
Yeah, you get a little rest period. Well, you get a rest anyway because all the feelings and the stuff that we feel here goes away. It's yeah, that's a whole show in itself. What happens when I die? And the word die, like it should be new life or second journey or fourth journey. You know what I mean? It should be named something else because it is only a step in the journey. It's like when you go on a holiday, right? You've got different destinations, and then you end up going in a big loop anyway. You've got different destinations.
But
You don't get to your
you're
destination.
never lost on a journey. All you have to do is look for either a Starbucks or a McDonald's. You're not lost.
Depends what country you're in. You won't find a Starbucks or a McDonald's way out in the middle of nowhere. I'll give it a couple of years, maybe. Yeah, so this life is just one stop on a big journey. Yeah, call it destination 1, destination 2, whatever you want. So what have we got this week, Jules? This week we have, ta-da! Hey, hang on, there's someone missing. I just got a message. Donnie's the one that we got the emerald tablet. Actually, the emerald tablets, as in 2 S's, because there's the emerald tablets and then there's the emerald tablets. And we're going to have a look.
I have info on the emerald tablet, the singular version, and you've got the plural version.
Yeah, I got info on the Emerald tablets, the plural version. And you know what I found? I sat up late last night checking things out. I found they cross over there because I was looking at them. I'm thinking, how come these look the same here and they're different there?
They're both written by the same person.
Yeah, just at different times, right? Yeah, funny thing that when you go poking around. And I've got a few little clips of other people's point of views. Like, it's always good to hear everyone's point of view before you make a solid decision about anything. I mean, you make your decision, then you know, well, that's what I do. I make my decision, then I listen to what everyone's got to say. And if it needs adjusting because I've neglected something, or I've looked something, or misinterpreted something, or whatever, make that little adjustment and get it right. Be flexible. Because I was under the impression there was only the Emerald tablets, plural. And then Jules piped up and said, have you heard of the Emerald tablet? And I'm like, no. So I grew and I learned. And we also found another tablet. Oh, that was exciting, Jules.
I set Luna on a rabbit hole last night.
Yeah. Yeah. So I also found another.
Well, last week we yarned about the Anunnaki and the information that I was trying to bring. I only had bits and pieces, and I couldn't really tell an actual good story. So I went back and I was doing my research, and I found what I was looking for. And I've been this week kind of going through 14 tablets. And it's frustrating because I knew what I was looking for, but I couldn't find a summary. So I found the right information, and 4 independent different websites literally plagiarize that same person who had that same information. And it's not in the sense that it's super hard work. It's just the tablets are long and it's taken time. They use words like the king's son who disobeyed the other king's son, and they don't give names at all. So what I'm going through is just naming everything and redoing it.
Okay, so there is someone that's done that. You should check them out. It might help you out a bit, Jules. Anyway.
Oh, I've got some resources.
Cool.
I started this Tuesday, and I'm already down, getting ready to start the 10th tablet.
Ooh, well, I got them. I got some writings on them.
But I mean, I knew of the story, but going back and doing a deeper dive and literally having a window open to do research while I'm looking at this, in more than one way, that story kind of mirrors the Bible.
Yep. I had noticed that. I had a look at some things, and I'm thinking, ooh, some people wouldn't like to hear that. But yeah, and look, we all know that things happened a long time ago, and people lived longer, so they lived longer than us. And then we made stories of them, and because they lived longer than us, each time our generation was talking about that same person, they gave it a new name. Different countries, because they had different languages, gave that same person a new name.
They live so long.
Yep, because they live so long, and that's why they said they're immortal and that. But
one shard was 3,600 years, and you have beings who live for 100 shards or more.
Yep. Hang on, I'm just going to drop. Polly's in the house. Let's drop this in. Yeah, Polly. Yeah, and if anyone's got up on this information, they want to share stuff, we're always open. Anyway, so yeah, they lived a long time. They're a lot bigger than us. They lived probably a couple of our generations, but it was just their lifetime. It's like us living and seeing generations disappear, and language change, and look, we're in the midst of change. Things are going to change from what they used to be to what they will be. It's the same thing. So yeah, you got to look out for that. It looks like it's different people, but it's actually the same people. So we're going to check that out, the Emerald tablets. and the emerald tablet. And that's what I was telling you. I found the tablet of destiny, I think it was called. It's Anunnaki stone tablet, and it says that one of the Anunnaki dudes, I forget which his name, we'll check it out anyway. He is actually the ruler of everything here, and that's what that tablet is, the tablet of destiny. So there's a lot of tablets going around. As long as we don't OD, we should be right. So, all right. So we have a look at what we're talking about. Let's have a look. Seems we'll get straight into it. So I did a little bit of work with my left hand last night. And my right hand kind of assisted, and then it complained. I got a pain for that. I was watching this show called The Left Hand Path, Right Hand Path. I'm like, all right, so my right hand path is pretty broken up right now. But when I was young, I heard a poem that come out of me, and it talks about the two hands and how they should live in harmony. I'll just tell you quickly. Thy art, thy own worst enemy, a force of black and white, so shall live in harmony the hands of left and right. And you know, when you see the praying hands, that's what it reminds me of, both hands living in harmony. So something went wrong with me, obviously. All right, the emerald tablets, where are we? So I did do a little bit of work, and you just got to put up with my slow clicking around here. All right, so what have we got here? The emerald tablets of Hermes. All right, so we got two, one's of Hermes and one's of Atlantis. So Hermes, Jules is going to take care of that one. And I'll go through the slides, and then we'll go back and we'll start feeding us the information we know. So that's what it's supposed to look like. This is the one tablet. And it's funny, Jules, because there's pictures of this one, but there's not pictures of the other ones that the Atlantis.
Well, because the picture of this one, this is an actual recreation. The actual emerald tablet. It exists because it's the basis of the Corpus Hermetica. It's an official document, but an actual physical copy. It was all translation. No, there's not an actual tablet to my knowledge.
Okay. And I just want to say, g'day, Polly. How you going, bro?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. Depends where you are. How are you?
Yeah, it's evening somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, where you are, and it's morning where I am. Oh, it's lunchtime actually.
I read. Yeah, I had to call in for this one because I love the emerald tablets.
Oh, cool.
Because actually, they're like strongly tied to alchemy, and it's often said that the emerald tablets is actually the origin of alchemy. And alchemy is something that I've been fascinated with for like the last 5-6 years now.
It's more so in the emerald tablet than the tablets.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's even some people that say that like the story of Moses with the tablet coming down from the mountain is actually the same. It's just an analogy for Hermes Trismegistus with the tablet, with the emerald tablet.
Well, Hermes was a lot of people throughout history. I've come across that doing my studies.
The Egyptians referred to Hermes as Thoth, and he had a bird head.
Yep.
And he's also known as Mercury.
He was Moses, and he was Alexander the Great.
There he is. Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
The little bird head dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart guy, though, apparently.
That's the actual hieroglyphics in Egypt. The same person.
And what's really ironic, too, is, and maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves here, or I'm getting ahead of ourselves. But like, there's 7 principles in alchemy, like 7 laws, and then there's also 7 deadly sins.
Ooh. There you go.
So yeah, I don't know what that means, but
it just means it's a balance. Everything's got to be balanced somewhere.
Well, that's one of the rules. That's one of the laws. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the balance, see? That's why people go, why does this have to exist in the world? Well, that exists, so this needs to balance it out, because this world is like that. If you want to go to a world where that don't exist, it's a different world where it's all beautiful. And we're going there, people, don't worry, we'll get there eventually. All right, Lou, we'll go back a bit, because I found, oh, that's the emerald tablet. All right, so that's what they reckon here. So we're looking at the tablet 1 at the moment. Oops, what have I done? I've pressed the wrong things. My left hand's not. Now I'll just have to talk to my left hand.
How many different tablets are there? Emerald tablets of Hermes.
So we've got the 1 tablet. So they say this one, what we're looking at, and the writing on there. And we'll read out what they reckon it says in English. It doesn't say a lot. And then the emerald tablets from Thoth the Atlantean, who's the kind of the same person, right? There's heaps. That's the one you've been reading. So hang on, I'll just get my finger to do the right thing. So that's what they reckoned the emerald tablet looked like in the old days. And if you look at the people, how small they are. See the people in the left-hand corner there at the bottom? Very small, and this is a sketch of what they reckon it was. So if it was an emerald tablet, that was a big hunk of emerald. And
I was just going to mention that, has anyone ever seen a piece of emerald that big?
Yeah. I got a piece of
like
that.
Even the small tablet, even the picture you were showing earlier, that's like probably like less than 2 feet in width or height. But that thing's like huge, and even 2 feet. Like, has anyone ever seen a piece of emerald that's like 2 feet long? I've never seen that. I didn't know that happened.
So some rich dude's probably got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got something in my eye. Oh, Jules has got papers up. Okay. And that's what they say. What you got there, Jules?
You gotta add me in, but I got some notes.
Got some notes. All right. So that's what they reckon it says. We'll go back to that. We'll have a listen to Jules.
Because I have what they mean. I have the translations and the principles and everything.
Yeah. Okay. You do that, and I'll say g'day. Which I don't get in here very often. I'm very slow at typing, everybody. So.
Yeah, so I cannot make my screen any bigger.
Oh, hang on, I'll help you out here. That's as big as I can get it, right? We can't read it either. I can't read it. Oh, I got that picture.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's my notes. So I can tell you about the history of the Emerald Tablet. They were also known as the Smaragdine Tablet. They are from the 3rd or 2nd century BC. The Greek texts attributed to the mystical character Hermes Trismegistus, holder of knowledge, began to appear in the Hellenistic Egypt. These texts, known as a Hermetica, are the heterogeneous collection of works that encompass alchemical, magical, astrological, and medicinal elements.
Oh yeah, I'm mucking around behind the scenes.
I just have the basic information, but the difference between the emerald tablets versus the plural, and I didn't really do a deep dive on the plural because I was just focused on the one emerald tablet.
That's cool. We got that covered.
But basically, I mean, they're both penned by Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great Hermes. He was often called that because he had 3 parts wisdom of the universe: alchemy, the operation of the sun; astrology, the operation of the stars; and theurgy, the operation of the gods. And like I said, there's not an original carving of the Emerald Tablet, but throughout time, there's been translations which it was a real thing.
It was real.
It's also maybe worth pointing out here that this person Hermes or Thoth, or he's even been referred to as Mercury, is a direct survivor of the lost civilization that presumably is Atlantis.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I mean, there are. It's been thought that the tablet once rested in the Ark of the Covenant, and it's also been thought that it was originally resided in Atlantis and was written by Thoth.
Exactly. So this if it's if that's the real case, then this is pretty much the oldest written text that we know of. Because it's that if it was written in the time of Atlantis, that's over 13,000 years ago.
Well, I mean, some of the Sumerian texts are pretty ancient too.
Not that ancient.
I get all conflicted on the time scale, but there. I mean, my whole purpose for doing a deeper dive on this was maintaining the symbolism as above and so below, and the principles of the tablet.
Well, I was going to point that actually there is a correlation
Yeah,
with Hermes and the planet Mercury.
there is, but
Mhm.
the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, and the principle of cause and effect, and the principle of gender. Those are the seven hermetic principles.
Yep. And if you actually pay attention to those, like if you read about those seven principles, the next time you walk out into the world, you'll start noticing that those principles are everywhere.
They are.
They are.
They're in everything. It's
So
like the blueprint. It's the blueprint of reality and spirituality at the same time.
yep, that's what it was written for. They reckon to guide us.
Yep.
Yeah, Crowder told me they all this tried, like they wrote this book, they wrote the Bible, they wrote a lot of books, trying to preserve Crowder's work. And Crowder told me, Crowder wrote it in our hearts, and if you go in your heart, and you know you got to get in there. It's kind of hard for some people, but once you go in there, it's written in your heart, because then we'll never ever lose it. It's written on our soul even. That's what Crowder told me. All right. So we want to find out what it says. Let's find out what it says. It says, I have to make this big one moment. It says, it doesn't say a lot, but what it says is pretty profound. All right. In truth, without deceit, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, and most veritable, that which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. And just as all things have come from the one thing, through the meditation of one mind, so do all created things originate from this one thing through transformation. It's Father, sorry.
That from the void, from nothingness, that one thought came about. From that one thought, everything manifested.
Its Father is the sun, its mother the moon. Sorry, Jules.
Oh, I'm looking right at him. The father is the sun, its mother the moon, the wind carries in its belly, its nurse is the earth. It's the origin of all, the consecration of the universe. Its inherent strength is perfected if it's turned into earth. Separate the earth from fire, the subtle from the gross, gently with great ingenuity. It rises from earth to heaven and descends again to earth, thereby combining with itself the powers of both the above and below. Thus will you obtain the glory of the whole universe, and obscurity will be clear to you. This is the greatest force of all powers because it overcomes the subtle thing and penetrates every solid thing. In this way, the universe created. From this comes the wondrous applications because of this pattern. Therefore, I am called thrice greatest Hermes, having all three parts of wisdom of the whole universe. Herein, I have completely explained the operation of the sun.
Yeah, so that's what it says. Like I said, it doesn't say a lot.
Does
And it sounds
anyone does anyone ever think about like the Holy Trinity here when you hear about that? Like, is there some similarity between the Holy Trinity and what Jules just read?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about that because seeing that he mentions the sun, I mean, the sun is part of the Holy Trinity, and the sun is, it's just that Trinity redone over again. I mean, right now I'm looking at it from the Anunnaki angle, but it's no different than the whole Jesus being sun, and it's all sun worship.
You know, it's funny about the sun worship because remember we talked about the time when uh, the extra water was in the air. I forget what it's called. The the water that we talk about that broke down. You couldn't see the sun back then because that the vapor canopy, the water vapor canopy was in the way. When it broke down, that was the first time they saw the sun. That's when they started bringing in the sun and the moon because they could actually see it different beyond the water canopy because it wasn't there anymore. And I've looked at that and I thought, isn't it funny how a lot of the sun stuff, because we know that you get information from the sun and everything, and while the water canopy was there, it was kind of hidden because they couldn't see the sun, right? It was just like a big glow. And yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm playing around the chat room for the first time. I use the garden. And I can't spell this, but I want to say, G'day, my flock is everywhere. I think that's what his name is. Donny, how you going, my brother? Hang on, we'll just pop the link in for you because we're talking about. Hang on, we're talking about the emerald tablets, and there's 2 lots of them, my brother. 2 lots of them. All right, hang on. Here we go. You know, when my right hand gets better, I'm going to say to my left hand, "You're so clever." All right, so okay, that's what it says. Yeah, we were talking about how the Bible, they reckon this is where the Bible come from, these emerald tablets. They took inserts and then they added stuff and made the Bible. Before the Bible was this, like I said before, it's written in here and on your spirit soul. But we as humans still need to look at something, don't we? To know that it's real, we need to go, oh yeah, it's solid, it belongs here. Anyway, I'm raving today. What do we got next? That's what it says. Oh, well, that's what I want to say. If you read it properly and take your time, you've got to look at each line and nurture it and really absorb what it's saying, I reckon.
Well, and also hidden within the Emerald Tablet, just like you were saying, each paragraph is called a Rubicon. And within those Rubicon, there are certain key words that if you put them in one color and you put all the other colors, it makes a pattern.
Okay. You've got all that research, haven't you? Oh, here we go. Here's what they reckon. See how there's 2 different ones? There's one with just right, and then there's the other one with the Atlantean guy on it. So they're 2 different times, as you were saying before. I'm not sure which is which. The guy I keep referring to that knows about this, he calls himself a chronological. Well, I can't even say chronological, just a chronologist. He's like a timeline keeper. And I sat down for a long time saying I know these things aren't right, but I didn't know how to put them in a timeline. And I asked Creator, someone out there's got to be able to put all this stuff in a timeline. And this guy, Jason Bray or something, he did it. He's Archaics. He actually wrote a timeline. So I'll check that out, find out which one was first. All right. So we've got, I presume the one with the Egyptian guy was actually found in Egypt somewhere. All right, so then we got this version. I don't know where that come from, but it was under the list of the emerald tablets. It actually looks like a computer thing.
One thing that's cool about that too is the whole Egypt tie-in is Egypt used to be called Chem,
Yes.
and it's spelled Chem, and so that's where the word, well, at least that's what I've been led to believe, is the origin of the word alchemy actually comes from Chem, which is ancient Egypt, or I want to say Cairo, but I'm not sure if that's where it was. Wherever the
Yeah.
pyramids are, somewhere
Yeah.
around there, where all the people were and all the alchemists.
Yeah. And chemist, we have chemistry.
Right. Well, now alchemy is another thing that a lot of people say is, oh, it's, before we learned chemistry, it was kind of like a pseudoscience back in the day before we learned real chemistry. And the word chemistry comes from alchemy.
Yeah, it was.
And Isaac Newton was an
Brought down
alchemist.
from the mystery schools.
Yeah, but isn't alchemy deals with not just physical things, it goes into all the other layers of spiritual energy and how to move energy around, how to transmute energy from one to another.
As above, so below. Exactly. When
Yeah.
you transmute something in front of you, you're also doing that same work inside yourself.
So this come up when I put in emerald tablets, and I presume they're talking about the knowledge from them. And it was back in that time. You can recognise the thing.
Looks like the zodiac wheel to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is though, but there's so much stuff packed into that image.
There is, yeah, that's why I picked it. I thought, oh, well, I understand what they're trying to tell you in the pictures, the same knowledge, but in pictures.
You can find that same image if you Google search Freemasonry as well.
I'm looking at this and I'm seeing it's opposites. It's polarity. On one side you have the moon, the other side you have the sun.
And you got above and below.
You do have above and below. And that number 12 always pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
I wish this picture was in color.
I could have got a coloured one. I actually chose a black and white one so the colour wouldn't distract us.
Oh, it's all good. I can search for it.
But yeah, you know what I should do? Every time I find stuff, I should just send it to you because you're always like, oh, I like that. Can you send it?
I mean, speaking of Freemasonry, Hermes appears in Freemasonry. If you ever do a dive and learn of Hiram Abiff, in Freemasonry, Hermes is Hiram Abiff.
I was actually going to suggest later that the origins of Freemasonry actually come from alchemy, and alchemy is basically just a representation of sacred geometry and math and frequencies.
I listened during my studies. I listened to a lot of information. I listened to several Manly P. Hall lectures, and according to Manly P. Hall, Freemasonry, it's going back to antiquity. It's basically how the first people.
What happened then?
Hey, Donnie, how you doing?
But in actual history, Freemasonry isn't recorded until the late 1600s, early 1700s. So there's more than 1,000 years, supposedly, of information that's just occulted and lost. But it wasn't, because all of these secret societies now and the elites have that information. That's how they're controlling us.
Yeah, because
the same information is also recorded in every single piece of nature that you see in your reality.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Hey, Donnie, welcome. Donnie's probably having technical problems. I'm looking at. Hey, my brother, you having technical problems, my brother? We can't see nothing.
I think he's muted.
Yeah, he is.
I'll try again. Yama, everyone.
Hey, Yama, g'day, Donnie. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
alive. That's it.
you made it to Saturday. We all made
Yeah.
it. On the back, give yourself a hug and go, you made it to Saturday. You made it. All right. Oh, we saw that picture. Hey. All right.
Still
So what did
Friday
I
here.
miss out on?
You haven't missed too much, my brother. We're talking about the emerald tablet. There's two. There's the tablet and the tablets, plural. We're still looking at the first one and what it said. It didn't, yeah. So, this is the other guy.
Well, give us a rundown on tablet 1 first, where it came from, who supposedly made it, and we'll go from there, eh?
All right. Well, who did make it? What's it? Yeah, Thoth.
Yeah, the Atlantean.
His time. All right. We've been half an hour on the show. Now we're going to do a little quiz. What did we say?
Yeah, that's all right. So you're saying that the first tablet was made by Thoth?
Yeah, that was the Emerald Tablet. We haven't gotten to the Emerald Tablets yet, the plural version.
Okay, yeah.
But
Well, sort of up the street.
they're both written by the same person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at different times because he reincarnated.
So, like, one of them is just 1 and the other one is 2.
No, the other one's 14 or something, isn't it, George?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I've got them. I've actually got them. I had
He's cutting in and out.
Oh, that's not us. That's your new technology. All right, so that's what they said. It's just a short thing there. I haven't got other. There's not a lot of literature on it because that's what they reckon it says, right? And we read it out, and that's what they reckon it looks like, without the picture of the other guy in the bottom because he's the same person but later.
So they found 14 of these tablets. How do they know which order to put them in?
Well, there's discrepancies on that because somebody actually, for us to read them, which we're going to in a minute, they had to be translated, right? And everyone's going, how do we know this guy translated them right? There's a lot of discrepancies. That's why I thought later on we'll hear a couple of different people's point of views. I've just found a few.
And maybe that's why symbolism is actually a better form of communication.
Pardon, I missed that.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I. We use it today. Thumbs up, thumbs down, smiley face, all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
They were using emojis in the ancient past.
They were, Polly.
Just think the hobos used to use emojis too.
Indeed. And
My
my people still use emojis. I got emojis tattooed on me. I never thought that way. It sounds pretty lame when you say it that way. I got emojis tattooed on me. No, all right. I'm over the top. Forgive my happiness. I swore while my
Just
hand.
cut out again.
All right. So let's have a look. I'll have a look at some of the. What have I got as in? I do have some paperwork on this stuff that we can have a look at. Let's have a look. Yep, I do.
Okay, so just before you change off of that picture, something just occurred to me that I can't believe I didn't notice beforehand. But that picture of Thoth,
Yes.
okay, he's depicted as having a bird head, and it's the bird that I think it's called an ibis, and it's a sacred bird. But it looks a lot like the old medicine or doctor masks from like back in the Black Plague days.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it does. I know exactly what
it looks exactly like that. I wonder if that has any connection.
And if you want another laugh,
Hermes always did have the caduceus.
And that's
them,
another, something's going on there too.
them ibis birds, Polly, we got them, and the kids call them bin chickens.
Yeah, they'd call them bin chickens.
Bin chickens.
Because they eat the garbage.
Yeah, and their beaks are like this long, man. Yeah, I got a.
Yeah.
The one comes into my yard every year and gets all the frogs and lizards out of my yard. And he just stands there and looks at you, like the way they look at you. And there's white ones and blue ones. The blue ones are beautiful. They're a bit smaller, but they're this grey blue. They're like a light blue. They're very beautiful.
Yeah, bin chicken.
Same. Yeah, same. I wonder if you really look like that or whether that was a helmet technology, you know?
Yeah. You know what's something unusual about that picture there, Luna?
What?
Not far from you, there's an engraving of him on a rock face.
Where I live, yeah.
Yeah, Gosford area.
Oh, yeah. Should make a trip up there and take some photos, yeah, there you go. See, Thoth. That's Thoth. So
I believe they call him the nameless one.
Oh, they do here, yeah. I found some. All right, we're ready. I did find some writings. I just got to share the screen. Hang on. I don't know if you'll see this much, but I can read it out to you anyways. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. All right. So, hang on, I'll just make my screen wider. Have a better look here. I can't see you at the moment.
Luna's got some magic skills. Just
Left hand.
open it up like butter.
Yeah. All right. Hey, the left hand saying, I've been waiting for so long to show my skills, but Anne-Marie never used me. I muck around. Last week I was in pain, and this week I'm just laughing at everything because I'm terribly bored and I can't do anything. Anyway, all right, so here we are, Dr. Doriel. So Doriel's translation, that's what we're looking at, Thoth the Atlantean. Oops, wrong way. Kem, yep. When Thoth the Atlantean and Master raised the people of Kem, Egypt, to a great civilization, and when the time came for him to leave Egypt, he erected the Great Pyramid over the entrance of the Great Hall of Amenti. Now, I heard a story the pyramids were erected because the water from the flood, when the ships come in, they had nothing to reference to land, so they built the pyramids and they were poking out of the water, so as they come down they could reference it. Plus they were a machine, right? An energy machine. That's what, that's my knowledge of it. Where was I? In the pyramid, he posited his records and appointed guards for his secrets from among the highest of his people. In later times, the descendants of these guards became the pyramid priests, while Thoth was deified as the god of wisdom, the recorder by those in the age of darkness which followed his passing. In legend, the halls of Amenti became the underworld, the halls of the gods.
You keep cutting out there, Luna.
Sorry, can you fellas hear me, or is it just Donnie's tech?
Sounds okay here.
All right. The Emerald Tablets, a book of record and occult wisdom which he wrote and left in the pyramid for those of a future age of light. The tablets. So
there are 12 tablets, to answer your question, Donnie.
So here they are, Donnie, in a list here. I'll read through them. Now, I'll read through them, and I was looking for something.
Sorry,
yes.
There's 12 tablets?
No, there's more. What's this? 15. There's 15. Is that XP? That's 15, eh? Yeah, 14.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I get for trying to read as Luna scrolls.
It's all right. So we have the history of Thoth the Atlantean, the halls of Amenti, the key of wisdom, the spaceborn, the dweller of Anal, the key of magic, the seven lords, the key of mysteries, the key of freedom of space, the key of time, the key to above and below, the law of cause and effect, and the key of prophecy, the keys of life and death, becoming thrice great, which is 3, secret of secrets. Okay, so in one of these, I got a little clip that this guy looked through it, and he actually talks about the lizard people and how they cloak themselves and look like humans, because apparently in his day they were in the councils as well, and they were cloaked as like them.
In that council, was it a council of 7 or a council of 12?
I'm not sure. I just know it was the council. It was a count. He mentioned. I got a little clip to show you that later. What did I look in last night? It wasn't very long, but just to get. I've read the Halls of Amenti. He's talking about the journey into the world underneath our feet, the inner earth. And he talks about it. Read it. It's worth a read. I read it. I actually printed it out and read it over a week, and I'm not very much of a reader, but I found it very interesting. All right. Anyone want to pick one? What we want to have a look at? Or I'll just do the one I looked at last night.
I just want to point out that the law of cause and effect is one of the 7 hermetic principles that we discussed earlier in alchemy. So
Mm-hmm.
they appear to be the same sort of, like, one. I don't understand the difference between the one tablet and the other ones. Aren't they both just the same thing?
Kinda, but this one's more in depth because it tells you how we got down there and everything. And it's written funny. Listen, list.
Like my gut's telling me that maybe there isn't an actual emerald tablet, that there's always been emerald tablets.
Yeah. I reckon something like that. All right. And it's written old.
And I like how it's interesting how they also use the word key so many times.
I know. Yeah, you sound wobbly there, bro. You sound like you're underwater, Luna. Speak again.
Which one?
That's better. Yeah, we couldn't hear you. That's your new technology. It's only got a new phone. All right, so
Yeah. Still learning how to drive it.
yeah, eh? So it's written old-fashioned. List ye, O man, the words of my wisdom. List to the voice of Thoth. The Atlantean conquered. Have I the law of time-space? Knowledge have I gained of the future of time. Know I that man in his movement through space-time shall ever be one with the all. So it speaks like that all the way. What have we got? Cause and effect. It's not straight out English because English is a spell. So just to give you an idea, list ye, O man, so it'd be listen you, O man, to my words of wisdom. Prepare and ye shall not bind your light. Man has risen and man has fallen, and as ever new waves of consciousness flow from the great abyss below us towards the sun of their goal. Ye, my children, have risen from a state that was little above the beast. Oh, we've gone back there. Until now, all men ye are greatest. Yet before thee were others greater than thee. Yet tell I thee, as before thee others have fallen, so also shall ye come to an end. And upon the land where ye dwell now, barbarians shall dwell and in turn rise up to light. Forgotten shall be the ancient wisdom, yet ever shall live, though hidden from men. So that's the cycle of the rise and fall, that over and over again. We have cataclysm, we fall, we rise up again, which we're in now. We're in the rise at the moment. Yeah, that's that. He's talking about that. So in other words, humans don't get ahead of yourself because you rise and fall. That's what he's saying. But we know that, eh?
Delusion of grandeur.
Pardon?
That seems to be our baddest thing is delusion of grandeur.
Yeah. So it's quite lengthy. It'll take a while to read the whole lot, which I'm not going to do, right? But check it
There's
out.
also a book. There's a book called The Kabbalion,
Can we
which
visit the Seven Lords?
Yeah, I was just about to look at that. Yeah, that's where it was going. Sorry, Polly, what were you saying?
there's a book called The Kabbalion that's basically it's based in Hermeticism, and one of the chapters in it is about the law of cause and effect. But if you look at all of the 7 laws, they kind of all mean the same thing. There's like the law of polarity, which is like, 2 things, right? There's a north and a south, or whatever you want to call it. There's the cause and effect. That they're like everything seems to be opposites. And
Yeah,
what's really cool about the perspective of alchemy is that there are actual no opposites. Like dark and light, they may appear to be opposites, but they're really just measurements of the same thing on one scale. Like there's the absence of light or there's the presence of light. It's not necessarily darkness and light or
exactly.
hot and cold. Like
Yep.
those aren't opposites. They're just measurements of the same thing at 2 extreme ends.
Yep. While you're saying that, I'm getting shown
I don't know
a
why
picture
that's
of.
a useful thing to know, but that's what
Well,
they say in alchemy.
well, it's true. Yeah, but it's true.
I
While
haven't
you're
figured out
saying
what to
that,
do with
they've
that
shown
yet.
me a picture of a person standing and the sun shining on the front of their body. And if you walk around to the front of them, you can see it all warm and glowy. But if you walk around behind them, it's shadowy, dark, and cold. But does that make that person any different than when they walk inside out of the sun and they're all the same and all the way around? Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's true. If you go to a mountain and you look at from the bottom of the mountain, look up, you can't see the top. Then you go to the top of the mountain and you look down, there's all clouds and everyone looks really tiny and you can't even see the bottom. Same mountain, different perspective.
Right. It's almost as if humans were designed to be right in the middle. So there's as above, so below, but then there's us, and we're always going to be in the middle.
Well, that's where we should be, balanced.
Unless we want to go up or down.
So
Yeah, Piggy.
That's the symbolization of the checkerboard.
Exactly, yeah. And where do we find the checkerboard?
yeah, I was just thinking that. Oh yeah. Oh.
Even on MTV, their logo they had a logo that had checkerboard flag on it.
Oh, they're everywhere. They're on the police hats here in Australia. All right, where were we? So the 7 lords. He talks about
the checkerboard. How did the common because Luna mentioned hat. How did the common everyday cab driver acquire checkerboard?
I
never checkerboard. That just seemed an odd position to have so much symbolism in, but I'm just in deep thought, so pay no attention to me.
A lot of kitchens have it. And bathrooms.
Yeah, they have it too.
Schools too.
Gungies.
The gungies, yeah, that's what I said. The cops have it, the police. They've got it. They got it on their hat. One of the takeaway fast food places have it. It's in lots of places. It's in lots of places. It's not a natural thing either. It's too precise. Oh, look how small the screen is. No wonder you can't read it. I can. All right, so this is telling about the 7 lords. What I'm going to do is kind of skip these thous and arts so we can kind of make. So listen to his voice, open your mind and space, and drink wisdom. Dark is the pathway of light.
I was just wondering who the seven lords were.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's why I'm reading it this way so I can get through it faster. Many pitfalls in life, yep. Seek ever greater wisdom. Yes, that's what you do. Attain, and it shall be light on the way. Open the soul, because it talks a lot of stuff. Maybe they talk that way in them days, eh?
The seven lords could be the seven laws, or it
Yeah.
could be
Thank you.
the Pleiades. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. The Pleiades or the Council of Seven Anunnaki.
I'm just going to skip through it. We'll find out. Get through the stuff like alone, throw out the space. Kind of says the same thing over and over again. All right, buried, lost as you know. The infinite brain.
There's only.
Or is that right?
In all space, there is only one wisdom.
Everything created is based upon order, law, and it's funny how they spell law, L-A-W, it should be L-O-R-E, rules the space, because there's universal law, infinite dwells from equilibrium, and the great cycles, harmony. Yep, you should know all them. They're all that. They're the laws actually. Equilibrium, harmony, peace, joy, love. They're all the actual laws. There's a whole list of them.
Thoth stood before the lords of the cycles. Mighty they in these aspects of power. Mighty they in the wisdom unveiled.
You're right. That's not me. That's water coming from the water tank in there. We're not in the bathroom. All right, what do we got? Pathway. Yeah, I think it looks like he's talking about, yeah, it's not people. Gain knowledge and power.
Once they said unto me, O man, whilst thou gain wisdom, seek for it in the heart of the flame. Luna, again, you've given me homework. The heart of the flame, seek the wisdom. Lucifer is revealed because in Luciferianism he has on his head the torch of knowledge. This is tying into more homework.
Yeah. You got to remember, this is what I'm getting told right now, people. You got to remember, it's all good to have knowledge, but remember the flame needs oil to burn. So you've got the flame and you have the oil that it burns. So you need faith and all that love and all that to go with the knowledge. You need both.
You also need air.
Yeah.
There you go. So you can't just have all this knowledge and not activate your heart.
I mean, that was like the perfect place for the magician and the tarot deck. It starts with a fool who is zero, absolute nothing, and from the fool comes one. The magician on the card is typically displayed, and he has his as above, so below symbol. But on his table, he has all those elemental tools that he'll need to create the alchemy and magic within.
Oh, actually, what it says here, because people, I'm hopeless. If anyone knows me, I'm terrible at numbers, right? That's why I've trouble with music and all that. All right. Because what I was told was all that matters is 1 to 9, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all the numbers you ever need. You don't have to go.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's saying. Fourth we formed after our order, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, these are the numbers of cycles. So you don't need a lot of numbers. You just got to know.
No, well, I mean, this is where I learned that numerology, that really is all the numbers you need, even different various forms of numerology. But when the 17th century came, when tarot and the occultists got into it, they put the arcana in there and gave them those numbers. Those numbers only have meaning in a tarot deck. In numerology, those numbers don't mean anything.
Well, also you can take any amount of digit number and reduce it down to one digit, I mean. So if you
Yeah.
like give me any single number you want, and I can keep adding the numbers together until eventually I end up with a number that's between 1 and 9.
Yeah. Yep. Back to the basics. See?
I think it's called vortex math.
I've only done numerology that way. I will even like break down master numbers.
Well, as it turns out, there are some magic numbers that like 144 that keeps showing up in a lot of different places. But if you add the numbers 1, 4, and 4 together, they equal 9. And a lot of these magic numbers reduce down to 3, 6, or 9. It's really strange, but cool, I guess, if we can figure out what the hell to do with it.
Wow. Yep. All right. So I'll skim through that way as we're having the yarn. Basically, stay in the light. That's what he's saying, and he's telling you how you'd be tricked.
This
There was
I'm
one.
pretty sure this what it looks like when you're on this screen here. It
Yep.
looks like the table of contents for the Kabbalion. It
They do
literally
tie
does.
in. They do tie in so closely together.
It's like the Kabbalion was written as like a here's the emerald tablets for dummies kind of thing.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it looks like.
Uh,
Because I've read the Kabbalion. Well, it got read to me because I was too lazy to read it.
oh,
But
yeah,
I listened to it, and it sounds a lot like all of this stuff. Even the language is the same.
yeah, we
Yeah,
done.
It's
it
worth
is.
a listen. It's a short book. It's a really short read. Anyone out there who hasn't read the Kabbalion, I know there's a lot of controversy around it, but it's a really short book, and you should read it because
I have a
you
copy
can't say
that.
you don't like it unless you've read it.
See, they're quite lengthy.
And
Man.
if you like alchemy, then you'll love it.
Yeah, cool. All right, so as you can see, these are quite lengthy. There's information. If you read it, skip through all these thous, arts, and thys, and the repetitive. There's a lot of repetitive, but that's to keep you in the light while you're going, obviously. All right.
And if you take like all these occult sort of what do you call them, categories like astrology and herbalism and spagyrics and Freemasonry, and there's like a list of other things that I can't think of off the top of my head, but if you follow them all back to their roots, they all point to alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. And so these emerald tablets is where supposedly alchemy came from. So that's why I think, I think even, yeah, Sid said something in the chat earlier that they've been dated back 36,000 years BC. So add 2,000 years to that. That's how old they are. I mean, think about how old that is.
Yeah.
To be able to write on emerald tablets at that age.
And I was looking at what they used to write on the emerald tablet. They had to have some kind of technology because it wasn't a chisel and a hammer, because they would have shattered the emerald, right?
Well, yeah. Well, okay, here's a cool thing. This is maybe a little bit off topic, but it might shed some light as to how they may have carved this.
Yeah.
I learned that some people think now there's this theory that there's some of this red granite in Egypt. It's like the hardest granite you can find, and they quarried it apparently like 300 miles away, and whatever, it's cut precision. Well, apparently you can make some kind of acid from a plant that's common around that area, and it will eat through red granite like butter.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that until like maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I watched it on I believe it was a Randall Carlson podcast, to be honest. And this guy from Egypt said that they could cut stones like perfectly straight just by using this acid.
from the plant.
And I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. So I wonder, like, because that would tie in with alchemy, right? Like
Yeah, we've
using
actually got
chemicals
calls
to
for that.
cut rocks into perfect shapes. That's
Yeah,
pretty
different plants.
alchemistic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but they move them.
Yeah, went with them. Yeah. It says here, brief history of the Atlantean. I, Thoth the Atlantean, master of mysteries, keeper of records, mighty king, magician, living from generation to generation, being about to pass into the halls of Amenti, set down the guidance of those that are to come after. These records of the mighty wisdom of great Atlantis. In the great
In
city.
the great city of Kior on the island of Undal, in a time far past, I began this incarnation, not as the little men of present age did, the mighty ones of Atlantis live and do, but rather I, from aeon to aeon, they did renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally forward. Onward.
100 times 10, isn't that 1,000? Have I descended the dark way that led into light? And as that's the tunnel underground, as my times have I ascended from the darkness into the light, my strength and power renewed.
Now,
All right.
time I descend, and for the men of Kim, and shall know me no more.
I forget him, yeah. But in time yet unborn will I rise again, mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind me. So he's going to get reincarnated. All right. I actually got some little short clips that other people's views of this, which we might have a look at, because where are we? We're at the hour. Yeah, we're at the hour. That was good timing. Yeah. So now say that gold for you. The emerald tablets. Are the emerald tablets real? All right, check this out. Let's hope it works. And it does.
The Emerald Tablets, authored by Thoth, known as the Atlantean Priest King, are a collection of tablets. According to ancient Egyptian records, Thoth ruled over Kem for an astonishing 14,000 years, with this information originating directly from Egyptian sources, not modern conjecture. Thoth, though prominent, didn't assert divinity like some of his relatives. Instead, he understood human vulnerability and refrained from exploiting it. He identified as a son of Atlantis and occasionally called himself the Son of Man, akin to Yeshua's biblical reference. This distinction is intriguing, setting Thoth apart from those who claimed divine status. The question arises, are Thoth's emerald tablets a myth or hidden awaiting discovery? The mystery endures, but one thing is clear. Thoth's legacy continues to captivate and inspire those seeking deeper spiritual understanding and growth. The tablets serve as a testament to a figure who, despite his remarkable reign, embraced humility and connection with humanity.
Gee, so they are, in a nutshell. In a nutshell. I've got another one. Hang on. Where are we? I forget what these are, so just bear with me.
And the tablets, a full, unedited, undoctored human. When I'm going to change these words around here and there, you know.
All right. I want to applaud you for your search for truth. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about how we teach what happened and where those emerald tablets of Thoth came from. So Thoth was a being on a biogenesis contract, and he had a vision for his people, the Anunnaki people, in helping them to basically build the ability to ascend. And unfortunately, Thoth decided that he'd rather go for dominion. He was given some deals by some people, and he did this in secret. And while he was still trusted and given the ability and the respect to speak what was on cluster door Torah plate 11, which the first time to access it, you have to touch it the first time. And after that, you can speak it. You can access it from your own fields. When he did that, he stole plate 11. This is 9558 BC, a little before that, actually. And he basically stole that plate and adjusted it, as you're talking about how people adjusted and created the Bible into what it is today, because that was once a great book too, before a bunch of insertions, deletions, and reversals were instituted to turn it into a control doctrine. He did the same thing with the Emerald Tablets and released them from the deeper tablets called the Cluster Door Torah plates. Now, if you want to learn more about those, there's one translator on the planet right now. Her name's Ashiana Dean. And there's also the Kumeah Alhambra crystal discs, which are deeper. They're stored out actually outside of this time matrix in a part that cannot be distorted. So cluster door Torah plates aren't distorted, but they're not complete because they happen inside the matrix. There are other ones that happen outside of this time matrix that you can have access to as well. And I mean, if you want them in plain English, check out Ashiana Dean's work, Iesha Ashiana Areas. If you want to access it yourself, talk to your guides. Try to find your real guides, and I'm sure you can have access.
Luna's muted.
Well, I've never heard of those disc things.
I haven't either. I haven't heard of those plates either. Luna, you're muted.
Here's me yakking on, can't hear nothing I'm saying. Yeah, so there you go. That's a different bit of information. I've never heard of those things either. I'm going to go check them out, see what I can find. The last bit he was talking about.
Was there any pictures of them?
No. I'll go searching around, see what I can find. I'll look up that lady that he said and see if she's fair income or not.
I'll be really disappointed if someone says they have pictures of them and then they just take a picture of a CD. Oh yeah, it's this ancient crystal disc. No, it's not. It's a freaking CD.
Yeah.
It has all this information on it. Yeah, they're called music.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's funny, eh?
Yep. And to think on the Voyager, we put that gold record on there with our entire history.
Yeah, sometimes it's not good telling everybody everything about it.
As if somebody's going to have a galactic phonograph, right?
All right. What else have I got for you? I've lost my place. I can't remember what I'm up to. Oh no! Wait a minute.
Hey, did you by any chance go check out whoever that person was who did the work? Did you go look at that yet?
Sorry, I missed that. What was it, Polly?
Okay, so you know how he says it like at the end, if you want to learn more about this, go check out this person's work. Did you go check her out?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
No, I will. That's what I said. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I have to now.
Oh, good, Bill. Well, good. We'll check it out and we'll get back to you, everybody, on those extra things he was talking about that we've never heard of. All right, so he's a little bit more.
Emerald tablets contain a prediction that thought will return in flesh, that is, a material body, when his time comes. He himself is immortal, and in later centuries his essence passes into the bodies of people in a special way described in the scriptures. In this way, he became the famous Hermes. In his current reincarnation, he leaves wisdoms known again as the Emerald Tablets, but this is a lighter and adapted version. The tablets are attached to each other with rings of gold alloy and are suspended from a lever, and the wisdom contained within is the basis of our entire existence. It is said that if one reads them with open mind and eyes, his wisdom will be increased 100-fold.
Oh, there you go. And I think I got one more, and then the rest of them are funny.
So my question is.
Yep.
Well, I just have a question about the last one. If you read it with say a little bit of an open mind and not like open eyes, like maybe you can only read half of it, will your knowledge maybe just increase like tenfold? Because I would be happy tenfold. That doesn't have to
Just a
be
little bit
100.
at a time.
Yeah.
And if
What
you
if you
read
read
it
it more than
without your
once?
glasses and then read it with your glasses, you'll jump up really quickly.
Since we're talking about Sky Brothers, check out this article that I found today.
Okay, where are we? We've got one more, but we'll show you. Hang on.
I can wait.
All right, yeah, I'll show you one more, and then you can show that because I've got to go Jillawa. Hang on. Ding, wait a minute. Ding, one more, and I don't know what this one is. I can't remember. Oh, yes, I do. This is interesting.
What's up, y'all? I'm pretty sure you guys heard of the Emerald Tablets. Let's see what the Emerald Tablets have to say about reptilians.
Emerald Tablets of God.
Watch this.
The key of mystery.
It's crazy.
In the form of men they amongst us. But only to sight were they as are men. Serpent-headed when the glamour was lifted. But appearing to men as men among men. Crept they into the councils. Taking forms that were like unto men. Playing by their arts. The chiefs of the kingdoms. Taking their form and ruling o'er men.
And that's not it, guys. That is not it. I'm pretty sure some of you guys know where the Emerald Tablets were found, right? They were found under a Mayan temple in Mexico. After that was translated, it was also translated that there were these masters that could actually destroy these reptilians. They can expose them also. There were certain words that would expose the reptilians, aka frequencies, vibrations and shit. There's certain vibrations that can mess with their cloaking abilities. And there were two type of masters. Before I say anything else, do not bring fucking race into this because it's not about race. There's black masters and there's white masters. Supposedly, the white masters were the only ones that could actually like rid of them. They could like fucking like legit seal them off and shit. But it sounds familiar as fuck, right? It sounds like the story from the Bible when God sealed off the old serpent. And supposedly there's a fucking tunnel system in LA, pretty close to Mexico, that houses reptilians. There's stories about it. The natives have stories about it. I'm gonna show you guys the video though.
Here are two extracts from the LA Times of January 29, 1934, from the days before we had so much censorship of news. In the first of which reporter Gene Bostic details the incredible story of G. Warren Shufelt, a mining engineer, who had been told of the underground city and its treasures by a wise old Indian, had consequently located it by a radio X-ray and was currently sinking shafts into the ground to reach it. The second extract explains the whereabouts of the putative underground city on the map, and provides the legends for a few photos showing Shufelt hard at work.
Bruh, it's crazy.
I was a kid, I was like 16 years old. I worked in the batting mines, and it was like a cave-in. And I went down, I was looking at the bodies. My uncle was one of them in there, and I'm looking. Didn't look like they were only beat up with rocks. Looked like there was some like claw marks on some of these people in there. And I thought I saw somebody or some figure, something dragging something away.
Sorry, that's all that you get. There you go. So that's a different opinion again.
Yeah. What happened? Yeah. What happened to Polly's video?
Beg your pardon?
It went all bonkers.
I just stopped. Yeah. That was it. That's all it was. I couldn't
Now
find
it's
Hey? Yeah, that's all there was to that little video thing there. So there you go. There's a few different opinions on the Emerald Tablets. You can go and check out the Emerald Tablets yourself. It's a long read, and it's a lot of art there.
I'm gonna have to go back and revisit. I knew a little bit of the Emerald Tablets, but I'm gonna have to go back and revisit. Yeah, I found this article today.
Okay.
And I was just sitting here working away, and this came through. Apparently, there was took 8 billion years for us to reach a signal from space. And I have no idea what this is because I have not even read the article. I just remember we were talking space, and I remembered it came across my news feed. So on top of all the other stuff we got going on, there's ET is reaching us. In theory, maybe. I don't know. I haven't read the article. Well, do you have anything going on your show this weekend?
Oh, yeah, there's some stuff going on this weekend.
Cool.
I think, yeah,
I'm back, sorry.
Luna's gonna come on Sunday, and we're gonna do like an origin of music show
Nice.
kind of thing. Yeah, some of the stuff we're talking about today kind of even ties in with it. So it's kind of neat. That'll be on Sunday. And Saturday, I'm probably just gonna wing it, because why not? And yeah, there's a couple things I might talk about, but I don't know exactly what yet. It's just I have a playlist in mind. That's about it. I got planned for tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got to work.
Yeah, I always look forward to it. It's so much fun doing it. I love doing it so much. I just love doing it.
Cool.
Yeah,
It's like okay, like the whole rule of opposites. Like if one thing swings one way, it will swing back the other way, like exactly in the opposite direction. And I feel like when I do my shows, it's like the other direction of being at work all week.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah, it does. We lost Donnie. We lost you, Donnie, brother. Anyways, that's his U-Butte phone, see? Anyway, he might come back. So, if I had read the whole book of the tablets, I probably would have more to say. And I have read it, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know of them, but interesting. I had forgotten all the details about the underground city in Los Angeles.
Oh, right.
Because
Yeah.
I think I've seen that video all the way through. And I knew about the purple. It's called Han Purple. It mixes with something and it exposes them.
Isn't there like stories of from the same kind of geographical area of like ant people that live underground too?
Well, wasn't it the ant people that
Like maybe people are getting lizard people confused with ant people.
Yeah, I've often wondered that. And why would they call them ant people? Maybe because they've got like hard skin, and maybe they're small. Like, because here in Australia we give nicknames to everything, and it kind of resembles or is the opposite of what you are. So when we hear names, it's like could have mean this and it could have mean that, you know. Oh, Donnie's back. Yeah, Donnie, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, Donnie. You lost.
Kicked me off.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I wasn't here.
I know. It kicked me off. No, it went. Phone went bonkers and just kicked me off.
Oh, wow. So we're just saying the town of lizard people under Los Angeles, but there was also a place where they called them the ant people. And I was saying how here in Australia we give nicknames to everything. It's either resembles what you are or opposite. So the ant people could have been the lizard people because of their hard skin, and they might have been small. Like we're trying to figure out, was it the same people? Because of
I think
the
it's the
common
Hopi
the Hopi,
Indians.
yeah, the ant people. Yeah.
They're the ones that talk about the ant people, and that's close to LA, isn't it?
I watched this video about lizard people. It was a scientist that he says, "What if a dinosaur developed into a humanoid?" And what he came up with looks green, but it looks grey. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah,
yeah.
Just there. Yeah, I've seen that. It's up on 2 legs. Yeah, I've seen that picture, Donnie. I watched Reptilian Thing. They reckon that all the humans' blood types relate to one mother, one father, which are reptilian, but they didn't want to tell anybody. And they obviously rule the world behind the scenes. The ones you're talking about. Saurians. Saurians, I think they call them. Saurians. All right. The little people. That's a big thing. Well, it's a time of truth, so we're going to find everything out anyway. I got some funny stuff for you. Hang on.
Cool.
Something funny. Oh, the kangaroo. Here, you're going to love this. Oh. Where did I put it? Oh, yeah, I have got it. All right. Have I got it? Oh, man, I hope this is it. What the hell is that? I don't know. All right, let's check this out. Oh, that's right. I forgot all about this. Check out these weird pictures, eh? I didn't know what to make of them. They've got hands. They're people. They're either people dressed up, or why would you dress up like that in front of the Pope? Even the Pope looks a bit weird. Or is that AI been stuffing around? No. Like, what the hell's going on there? Look at that dude behind him. He looks worried.
Well, Luna, you play that clip for us of when they're walking and the priest shift.
Yep, that little alien. They were all walking in a line. There was that little alien dude there. Look, he's got a beard. He's got hair on his beard. What the hell? What the? Yeah, that's what I found. So make of it what you want. It's weird, eh? What else did I find? Oh, this is cool. People who found their doppelgangers in a museum. Check this out.
Oh, that's crazy. I was just reading something about doppelgangers today.
You don't need no sound. Check it out.
I found my doppelganger.
Did you?
He's an artist named Paul Klee. There's a picture of him that looks identical to me in my 20s. That's so cool that you can take a picture like that. That'd be awesome. Go to a museum. Do you know what I would do? If I was like one of those people that looked like the person in the painting, I would stand there every day and tell people that I painted that. Yeah, I painted that.
Samurai. Yeah, you could, eh? I painted that. Yeah, you could have. That's a samurai in the background. He was a samurai.
Yeah, I took that picture. That was me. Yeah.
You check it.
and he should be wearing a hat.
Look at that food.
Just stand there all day and be like, I paint.
We'll be taking photos of it.
Oh, I think that guy's pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, some of them are a bit, how you going?
He wishes. He wishes.
I'd be shocked, man. I'd be going, what? Actually, I'd be happy because I'd be going, these mean another life. That I remember me past life, but I don't know.
That guy dressed up on purpose. He dressed up on purpose. Come on.
It's cool, but
they don't look anything alike. It's funny though.
Oh, you're gonna like this one. What is it called? Bee School, or what is it? Honeybee College. Check it out. When I first watched it, I couldn't believe it, and then I just laughed my head off because people do these things.
These honeybees are sitting in a classroom, but what they'll be learning is not what you think. After being collected from the hive, the bees are placed in a container and then onto the fridge to chill. The cool temperature slows down their movement, which makes it easier to place them into these little harnesses. There's even a machine that can automatically load each bee into a harness. While the bees are given a 6-second exposure to an explosive vapor, they're given a sugar water reward during the last 3 seconds. And after 4 rounds of training, the bees that stick out their tongue voluntarily after receiving the explosive scent are ready for field work. Multiple cartridges of bees are loaded into a handheld detection device. Inside the device, a camera or infrared sensor monitors the bees up close and can identify when each bee has stuck out its tongue. The handheld device is used to test the air sample on the field. With a push of a button, all the bees are exposed to the air in the bag for 6 seconds. A unanimous signal from all the bees points to a high likelihood that they've detected the particular type of explosive that they were trained on. And after a few days, the bees are released back to the hive to tell the story of their alien abduction. These honeybees are sitting in a classroom, but what they'll be
They're alien abduction. You like that? Is that cool?
Is that real?
Dark is actually working with animals.
It's true.
No, I mean, like, obviously. Like, I don't know if that would work. They have dogs that do that. Why do they need bees?
Because they're cheaper and there's more of them. And they get to sell
Well, no wonder the bees are having so many problems.
I know, right?
How can they? I thought we were supposed to be taking care of bees and making sure that they don't die. Now we're training them to smell explosives. I think dogs do that already. That's funny. That's funny though.
Isn't it? When
all them sitting there in their little cubicles.
Poor little bees. Oh,
that's
I love
so
bees.
funny.
I was going to get in a beehive because I have bees come to my back door going, help me. And because they're destroying their hive somewhere and they come to my house for help and they try to come inside. Happens like at least once every 2 years or something. And I thought maybe I should put a beehive. So yeah, I found that to be
stung by a bee. I got stung by a bee on Tuesday.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah, well, I was in the middle of pulling it off my neck because I didn't know what was on my neck. I'm on the bus at the time. I pull this thing off my neck, and it stung me, and I didn't even feel it. And then I put it down, and I was like, "Oh man, that was a bee." And then I felt where it stung me. It didn't. It was like maybe it partially stung me, but it didn't stick all the way in or something. I don't know. It was bizarre though. Like, bees don't usually just land on me. Maybe it was one of those bees.
Oh, you know what? I had a clip of a kangaroo. I don't know if you've seen it. Algo put it on his show. It's a kangaroo trying to drown the dog. Kangaroo trying to drown
I've seen.
the dog.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. But you can show it. It's friggin' hilarious.
If you have a look at his ears, though, they've been ripped, and that shows you he's had fights with dogs before. Yeah, well, sometimes I save them, and when I go back, they're gone already because that's just the way the computer is.
I'm surprised a dog would even bother fighting with a kangaroo.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to talk to Donnie about that. He knows more about that than me. Dogs and kangaroos.
I would have my dog trained to not fight a kangaroo. Get away from that. You're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, well, dogs got a tendency to go after kangaroos. I don't ask me why, but the first thing the kangaroo will do is go into a dam or a river, and they'll literally try to drown the dog.
That's pretty
one
smart.
of my mates had his dog done to it. Nearly drowned the dog.
So that's why that video is in the water. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he tried to drown the dog.
They had to put up dingoes, so they go. It's probably a defence they worked out. Dogs are not that good in water, so they use that as an advantage.
Yeah, well, they can't stand on 2 feet. Yeah, that's genius.
Yeah, it's pretty smart. I've never seen a
It's pretty clever, yeah. If you
And
think about it, I mean, like, I'm not against. I'm against killing any animal from any perspective, but if you think about it, like a kangaroo figured that out, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
That's like dolphin smart.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I can't find it though. I did have it there, isn't it? I hate that when I put something for I do it the night before, get all set for the show in the morning, and then when I go back, half many things have disappeared. But you'll probably see it again circulating because it's a pretty spin out clip.
I think Aussie Man did a kind of a parody of that video as well. It's kind of funny. Because the guy trying to rescue his dog gets he basically gets his camera knocked out of his hand by the kangaroo.
Yeah.
And then the dog and him both run away.
Run!
But the whole time, the whole time Aussie Man's doing the voices, right? So it's really funny. But I guess it's not funny if it's your dog, I guess. But yeah.
No, if it's real life, it's not funny. They'll make a mess of you.
Exactly.
I think they've got a lot of revenge too, because we run them over all the time. The trucks run them over. They kill their babies. The dogs attack them. The farmers shoot them. I think they've had enough and they're starting to retaliate. I think that's what's going on. They're starting with the dogs. We're going to drown your dogs.
Yeah, maybe.
Then we're going to get you.
The funniest one I ever seen is where this bloke with a parachute lands. This kangaroo comes over and beats the crap out of him. You see that one?
Yeah, you're laughing. But
the other thing I know that kangaroos will do too, well, actually, Luna was there to witness it as well. They got sentinels, for want of a better word, ones who'll go up front and find out what's going on before they send the crew through.
Yep. I call them the lollipop men because they come through like a lollipop person. Check everything out. Stop. Is it safe? Put the go sign and goes, all right, you can go now.
Do they have a guild?
Do they have a guild? Probably.
That was a joke reference to the Wizard of Oz, the Lollipop Guild.
Oh, yeah.
And also I seen something it's very, what I reckon was one Roo actually out of the mob sacrificed himself so the others could get away.
Oh.
Yeah, I've actually seen that. Unfortunately, I was the one to pull the trigger.
Oh, goodness. Oh, Donnie.
Yeah. But he actually he ran straight into my line of fire.
Oh.
Yeah. So he actually sacrificed himself for the rest of the mob. So they're pretty, they're pretty cunning. No, not cunning.
Was he like that? Was he that like? Was he the elder?
Probably.
No, like he would have been about a young buck, because the mob was hopping away.
That's fascinating.
And he turned and went straight towards me. That's when I fired. So I'm assuming that he sacrificed himself for the rest of the mob.
Probably. They're like us. Animals are like us.
Yeah,
They care
like I've
about
never
each other.
considered a kangaroo as being a pack animal.
Yeah, they are big mob animal. They go off on their own and then come back. Our mob's the same. We all come together and live together, but then we'd all go by ourselves and spend time on our
Yeah,
own.
well, when the young bucks get to old, fairly old, reasonable age, probably late adolescence, as you would call it. The king fella there, whatever you call him, the boss, Roo, he kicks them out of the mob, and usually these bucks will actually travel together in pairs. You'll come across that a fair bit. Yeah. Yeah, they're a really unusual animal to watch.
It almost makes me think that maybe I wouldn't eat one if somebody cooked one for me, but I still think I would eat one.
Well, actually, it's nice meat. It's lean meat.
It was
nice
leg meat. Yeah, I heard it's very good meat, and it's healthy meat.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there's
still,
the other one too.
There's some animals, they just look a certain way. It's hard to eat them.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example there, Polly, about roos. Black wallaroo. He that's the male. The female is actually the blue flyer. They're totally different from each other. Yeah, that's how they breed. Yeah, it's really weird. The only one I know of actually at the moment is the grey, where the male and female look similar to each other. That's around my area.
Okay. Jules has to go. Is that correct, Jules?
Yeah, I got to dip out. I got work in the morning, but you caught me, so I'll say it. It was wonderful. Thanks for having me, Luna. It's good to see everybody in chat. And until we meet again, keep shining. Love you all. Take care.
Thanks, Jules, as always. Love you, sister. Take care.
Stay bright, Jules.
Yalu there, Jules.
Yalu, everyone.
Yeah, I wanted to say goodbye before she left. Yeah, the kangaroos are interesting. Once I painted a picture of these two in traditional way. I was in the bush and I heard this little voice and it said to go this way, and there was long, tall grass and there was a little pathway. So I started walking up the little pathway, and then the grass was taller than me because I'm only 5'1". Anyway, as I went down the pathway, the grass started making a tunnel and like coming over to matting over the top and making this little tunnel, and it got lower and lower, and I just kept going. And at one point I stopped and went, where the hell am I going? And I thought, no, I'll just trust what's happening. So I trusted it and I kept going, and it ended up opening out into this opening, and there were these like, it was rocked like in steps, and all the kangaroos used to lay, that's where they slept. They'd all lain in the sun and that's where they slept. And then I backed out real quiet and left because I didn't want to disturb them. I was just very grateful that I got shown that. But because I got shown that, I was saying to my husband the other day, if it came time for hunting, I couldn't do it because they've shown me so many special things. It feels like I'm going to betray them. And the kangaroo mob, they're like peoples, Donnie? They're like, yes. Each mob's like peoples, like us. Yeah, so they're very fascinating.
Yeah, I think if I had to kill one, it would. I don't know if I could kill one like personally, but if somebody gave me an already dead one to eat, I would probably still eat it. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, there's just some animals that you would just like be like, why? I mean, I'm hungry, but like, damn, it's so cute.
I'll go and do something. Hey, I'll go and get a witchy grub.
Right.
Ollie, you could use some of that, mate. Depends on how you like it.
Sorry?
1 day old, 2 day old, 3 day old. When it gets to 4 day old, I wouldn't even touch it.
What were you talking about, Donald?
Why not?
Well, why not? Do you like mechanical rice to go with it?
Mechanical rice.
Well, I would, if I was eating something that.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. That's funny. Oh, dear. No, I prefer my plants. Plant food is very nice. Thank you very much. Oh, dear. Anyways, what are we? 1:45. So there you go. Anything else? It's kind of really, I don't know, put things on and they don't end up interesting. Research them.
There's one thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What they say these emerald tablets are, 38,000 years old, aren't they?
Yeah, 36.
When they were first.
Yeah.
Well, that's really strange because I think it was 40,000 years ago. They it came from 40,000 years ago. Is emerald bracelet.
Oh, emerald bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
40 to 45, I'm not too sure. And you wouldn't believe who made that emerald bracelet. Dennis Ovens.
Ooh. Yeah, you see, actually,
I'm wondering where did all this emerald go?
Yeah. And we're talking about this the other day, hey Donnie, like the Dennis Ovens, they got their names of mobs. They're telling us, and you think they've taught us that they're cavemen. They probably weren't cavemen. They're probably a type of people. They had technology and everything, but they don't want to tell us that because they could carve an emerald bracelet. I bet you can't. I couldn't get the Dremel out.
Yeah, they might.
There has to be a reason why they chose emerald.
Emerald. Properties of emerald. Hang on.
There has to be something weird about the properties of emerald. That's why they chose emerald.
Wait a minute. I'm going to get rid of some.
Like, I mean, even if you just use the word emerald in any other sentence, it makes it like almost mythical. Like, oh my goodness, an emerald bracelet?
Yeah.
It's like you're talking about like Lord of the Rings type shit or something, right? Like, why would they use emerald? It's not the hardest stone in the world.
No. Oh, I typed in the wrong thing. Hang on.
I'm going to find out why they did that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. But I typed in the wrong thing. Because I'm doing my left hand job. It's getting warm here. Oh, okay, what do we got here? Emerald is a life-affirming stone. It opens the heart chakra and calms the emotions. It provides inspiration, balance, wisdom, and patience. It is said to promote friendship, peace, harmony, and domestic bliss by enabling the wearer to both give and receive unconditional love. Woo-hoo! I think that's a good stone. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. Did you know the courthouses in Brisbane are actually emerald, painted emerald?
What? Oh, yeah. You know what else is emerald? From the Yellow Brick Road.
I should probably take back what I said. Emerald is actually quite a hard stone. Never mind.
It is.
It's pretty high. It's pretty high up there on the scale, actually. Never mind. So there's that.
Well, you learn something new every day. Well, I better get my emerald out and start wearing.
And apparently, because I'm an Aquarians and Sagittarians and Librans are not supposed to wear emerald because it won't work for them, suckers.
Did you hear that, Carl?
I'm an Aquarius. Whatever. I don't wear anything.
I got a big emerald. It's not a shiny one, like polished. It's a raw one, about that big, on a necklace. I got a few green rocks. I suppose I should wear them. Might help me.
So
sometime.
I guess going back to my question on why they would choose emerald. It is actually, in fact, it's fairly hard. I don't know what the scale goes up to, but it's like a 7.5 or 8 on the scale of hardness.
Wow.
And so that's pretty hard. So
it is.
That's like a display of technology too, right? If you can write on something like that.
Yep.
You're not just recording the information, you're recording a display of technology that I bet you we don't have yet.
Well, that's what I mean. They must have had this laser pen or something that they could scribe into rock.
I bet you they used plants.
Oh, they could have done that to you? That's technology still. But the fact that it's like inspiration balance, because the tablets were meant for wisdom to bring you into the light, right? And to bring you into a higher vibration. So the rock generates those vibrations. So it makes sense to do it in emerald. Because it's
like the frequency of that specific rock is the same. Yeah, that makes sense.
Domestic conditional love. The pink stone is unconditional.
And if you're that technologically and spiritually advanced,
yep, you'd know your stuff. So there you go. It was calculated and precise. But in that picture, you know that picture I showed, I didn't bring. I've got this.
Yeah, it must have been because it's yeah.
What's going on here? Oh, what's going on? Hang on. I know what's going on. I lost half my screen. Hang on. In this picture, that one. Look how big it is. Like that's an old etching, right? And that's what I mean. Was a very large person did that, and if that's what the real one looked like, and the people are small, and that was a big hunk of emerald.
Yeah, I mean, like even just the thought of a piece of emerald that size is astounding.
Yeah, back in the back Lilaloo in the old days, yeah, it wouldn't, because everything was giant. But yeah, imagine that. So there's thought. Hey, this is where we need to travel back in time, which you can do by not leaving the chair, and have a look. But it's all coming back to here now, and we've got a big full circle.
Yeah, that's what it tends to do.
Circle, yeah.
I mean, everything comes back to these tablets at some point. Like, I mean, almost everything. Architecture, artwork, I mean, so many things. They all tie into going back to the emerald tablets, pretty much. It's bizarre.
And it also tells us that way back then, the lizard people were still trying to get in and stuff things up and get their way.
Another question for you. You go there?
Yep.
Another question for you. In the Philadelphia experiment, wasn't it an emerald cloud that went over the ship?
I don't know. Was it?
I don't know either.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, because of what I heard, it was an emerald cloud haze were around the ship when they started it up. Just food for thought. That's it.
Green, yeah.
I'll have to
Green
look
energy.
into that. Yeah.
Green energy, yeah. That's interesting. I was only looking at that movie. I thought, oh, I should watch that again. I watched it a long, long time ago.
Another question. The Maoris, didn't they use emerald as well?
I don't know. I'll have to ask one of my friends. Phone a friend? No, Jade. Wasn't it Jade?
Was that Jade, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Jade. Because I got Jade things. And Emerald, they're really different.
Yeah.
Jade.
Do you forgive me for asking, do you even find emeralds in Australia or jade?
Go, Donnie.
Around this area, there's stuff very similar to jade and emerald, but it's not. It's called serpentine. Same greenish colour, just as around this area, but it's not jade or emerald.
And we get them little. What are them little stones? They're like ruby, but they're not. What are they called? Garnets.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, garnet. They look like rubies, but they're not. They're garnets. We get them.
Yeah, that's my birthstone.
Oh, we get gold.
Yeah, Holly. In the old days, didn't they use emerald in Swiss watches?
I think that's quartz, but you might be right. I mean, I've heard of quartz being used in Swiss watches because of piezo properties, the piezoelectricity or whatever it's called. But I don't think I've heard of emerald being in a watch, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there has to be some other properties other than it being a really hard stone why they chose to write the most important information that humanity's ever had. Like, all the religions are based off it. All of our science is based off it. Like, everything's based off it. So why would they choose emerald? It just doesn't make...
Yeah, one big giant USB.
I think we're just missing one like... There's a reason why they chose emerald, and we haven't figured it out yet.
Could be a USB.
A USB.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like it's a similar ways. Like, why is gold so important?
Gold is a good conductor of electricity. We know that for a fact. It's actually better than lead and
right, but
copper.
We don't use it as such. We don't. Yeah, but we don't use gold for that. What we do is we put it into bars and coins and hoard it. Nobody's using that kind of stuff for like electronics. We've figured out better ways now. It's not, I mean, it's a great conductor.
Well,
it doesn't corrode.
They do use it in satellites and things like that.
I found an
article. All
article.
Countries are basically just hoarding it.
Yeah.
I found an article that says 10 things you never knew about emeralds. The oldest emeralds date back
we got to look at
3
that.
billion years. However, they were first mined in Egypt around 1500 BC, where it was believed that emeralds stood for fertility and rebirth. Mummies were often buried with them to symbolize eternal youth. The Incas and the Aztecs also valued these rich green gems, worshipping them as gods. So perhaps not surprising then that the world's best emeralds came from South America today. Colombia yields the largest number of emeralds, contributing to more than 50% of the world's production. What makes emeralds green? One of the 4 gemstones globally recognized as precious, 4 others being diamonds, sapphires, and rubies. Emeralds are made from beryl, B-E-R-Y-L. They get their green color from trace amounts of chromium and or vanadium, unlike the other precious stones which can be found in a variety of colours. Emeralds are only evergreen, though their hues range from yellow-green to deep jade. The palest stone...
Keep going.
The palest stones are not actually emeralds, but rather known as green beryl. The most desirable emerald colours are bluish green to green with vivid saturation, medium to dark. I should put this on screen so you can have a look. Hang on. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Now, see, like, look at the size of that specimen, okay? That's what you normally think of when you hear someone say emerald, right?
Yep.
You can't write a tablet on that. That's like maybe the size of a quarter or like, you know what I'm saying? You don't ever think of emerald as being like a huge piece of like, so did they mine that, or did they have to make a piece of emerald first that big and then carve onto it?
I know, maybe the giant piece.
Well, hence my theory of a USB. What was it was chromium, and what was the other one?
What it's made of?
Yeah.
Here we are. What's that big word?
Cadmium, wasn't it? Cadmium or something like that, eh?
Chromium or vanadium. Vanadium.
Yeah, well, they used in superconductive computers.
Chromium.
Yeah.
That's a good theory, Donnie.
The word USB port.
Like maybe there's a way to store information in certain kinds of rocks. Like, yeah, that's a really good theory. I mean, even that would explain gold too. Maybe gold and is just a good way of storing information as well, like what you're talking about.
Yeah, all information. Some better than others.
And they would last longer than trees, right? Because I mean, trees store information kind of like a hard drive, like a USB. But they won't last as long as an emerald.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, you could be onto something there, Donnie. Serious.
Yeah, well,
that'd be a cool like thesis.
Yeah, that's like a special stone that we got out here. It's a sacred stone. It's called Sharinga. And one bloke said, which I think could be right, it could be a Bracewell probe. Look up Bracewell probe. It's a alien technology sent to a planet to keep an eye on the indigenous population there and send back information.
Wow. This is so cool because it totally ties in with the emerald tablets. Like, if you think about what the emerald tablets actually are, they're just like they're a form of keeping a record, right? And now we've sort of gone off this ledge where it's possible that maybe certain stones, certain crystals, if you will, have the ability to store and possibly even send information.
That's right. But you, like I said, if you want to read up about the Sharinga stone, get a book called Our Sharinga by Valerie Barrows. An interesting book. You should have a read of it there, Polly.
Well, can you send that to me in Discord at some point? I won't remember.
Yeah, I'll get Luna to do that for me.
Hey, listen.
Maybe Luna could do it for me. I'd be dead interested in reading in that kind of stuff because I've never even considered the possibility. Like, I've always been into like stones and geology and that kind of stuff, but I never understood why certain stones are valuable.
Yeah, well, you put it this way: the best way to hide alien technology is to make out it look like a bloody stone, eh?
Right. It would make perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because that'd be right. The phone fell down. Yeah, well, if they can do what the Yowies do, mind speak to you, they could
right?
actually tell you who to take that stone to, who to give it to, and all that, without even you knowing.
I just had this thought of like, let's say some woman, she's got like a huge rock on her finger for an engagement ring or whatever, and she's so proud of it, but she gets abducted by aliens, and all they do while she's up there is take that ring, stick it in the computer, turn it clockwise. It's got all this information of the whole history of Earth. And the aliens are like,
well, that could be a possibility too. It doesn't. It sounds funny, but it does make sense there, Polly.
It does, yeah. No, that's why it's funny to me, is because that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're that advanced, maybe that's what you do. You store. You don't need hard drives anymore. You don't need mechanical computers to do it for you. You just do it in whatever stone you see that has the right properties, I guess.
Yeah. It's like how would you put it? Let's say Pumapuka. That'd be the best example. You see these rocks, and then you see this engraving in the rock where a piece of metal sits. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, those little T sort of.
Yeah, joins the rock together.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those.
That's to join that rock to that rock, and that piece of metal is the double adapter.
Right.
Hey, listen.
So probably goes. The information goes from one rock to the other through the double adapter, because it doesn't hold the rock together.
Well, I often wonder why they would need to hold rocks that big together anyways. Wouldn't they hold themselves together? They're that big. Yeah, that's what didn't make sense to me about those things. So what you're saying makes actually some sense of it now, because if they're just using those as like a conduit.
Double adapter conduit, whatever you want to call them.
Right, it's like daisy chaining.
Yeah.
Listen to this, guys. I find these two paragraphs interesting, and it'll fit into what you're talking about. So emeralds are the softest gems known to man. So there's diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and that. But this is the softer version. So and they're called inclusions. The inclusions are the cracks in there, obviously. Inclusions can add to an emerald's overall aesthetic. They do make them more and more susceptible to cracking if knocked against a hard surface or subjected to extreme temperature change. Most emeralds are therefore treated by filling the cracks with oil to prevent chipping. Consequently, an emerald should not be cleaned with chemicals or ultrasonic machine. Instead, simply use warm water, clean the dirt away, and rub a bit of with a soft cloth. And you can also coat them with baby oil as an extra precaution to stop the stone from becoming overly brittle. What do you put in machines? Oil?
Oil.
Yep. Okay. According to ancient folklore, putting an emerald under your tongue would help a person see into the future. Wearing emeralds was also thought to guard against memory loss and enhance intuition. And if you wanted to know if your lover's promise was true, it was believed that emeralds could act as a type of truth potion, helping to decipher if they were being honest.
Unless you're an Aquarius or a Sagittarius or Libra.
So, if you put an emerald under your tongue, yeah, right, exactly. If you put an emerald under your tongue, that's like a battery, right? Because we're a battery. So if you put emerald in liquid, it acts as you can see into the future. I find that interesting. Could you not make a seeing machine with that?
Yeah, you would think like there's no real like practical uses that I know of emerald. Like when you think of gold, there's like a ton of practical uses. When you think of diamonds, there's a ton of practical uses. It's not just something you wear on your hand. But when you think of emerald and garnet or like uh, rubies, we just kind of like stick them in on a ring. That's it.
And here it's just saying the rich people have got emeralds. The Queen and that they've got 5 emeralds. And they got a heap of emeralds that they pass on in their jewelry and in their crowns. We know why now, because they got properties.
Well, it's making me think, like, if someone went through the trouble to write all this information that's crucial to the existence of our reality on emerald tablets, there must be some other properties to emeralds that aren't being Googled, or or Google won't show.
Yeah, about emeralds.
And I'll bet you, you know what? I like Donnie's theory too. I'm leaning towards that theory. I'm gonna go with that one, where it's like it's like a USB drive.
Yeah,
and it's got tons of information on it.
John F. Kennedy had an emerald ring. And you got to remember the rings and the emeralds these people have been passed down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they stole the emerald tablets, chopped them up and made jewelry and kept it to them.
I don't know. Like, you would have to have a significant amount of technology to be able to manipulate what was already written on them.
Yeah.
So there you go. A little bit about emeralds. Yeah, we know.
I would make an experiment to see if it does actually hold USB.
They would. All the rocks would.
Know how to do it, I would try it.
Because if a normal quartz crystal can be used to make a radio, that means that a gemmer on higher frequencies can do stuff as well, you know. And a normal rock like just turquoise and that, they hold memory. Just by holding them and putting memory into them, one of them rocks will be, because they're clear, they'd be even better. And we've heard the property of emerald. And it's supposed to make you more loving and kind and a better human. So,
unless you're me.
Yeah. Well, my opinion.
What is it? What is it?
My opinion on the subject of past technology, right? It's nothing like we got today. Like, no ways it even comes close to it, because they were using rock, crystals, and other things as technology. We don't understand it today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we lost it.
Totally different technology altogether. See, I've been watching a lot of reincarnations, stories about reincarnation, especially about Atlantis, right? Basically, every one of them speaks of crystal technology.
Yep.
And everyone brushes that aside. Yeah. Now, I know some of them, to me, some of it's BS, but they always seem to talk about crystal technology.
You got to remember, back then the atmosphere was different, and everything was more crystalline, because there was more water in the air and stuff like that. So the energy was different. Now, because of the way things are, that energy is not as strong, but it's getting better. And we've got all these other foreign energies running around because of stupid technology, not earth-friendly technology. But everything goes back around, remember, so it's going to come back. It'll come back to crystalline technology.
Yeah, it will. It's a law.
Yeah. The magical time, you know.
I mean, that's what's written on that's what's written on the emerald tablets, is that like when one thing swings far enough one way, it has to swing in the opposite direction, the exact same distance at some point.
It's inevitable. Yeah, that's why I don't worry about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they've swung so far they can't go that way anymore, so it's going to come back our way. It's just the way things are.
Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger pendulum.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's what they do. They put a bigger one on every time.
Well, at the moment,
I think that's what they do. Yeah, they just keep making the pendulum longer.
Where's the clockmaker? We need a bigger clock.
Yeah, we need more time.
well, at the moment,
We're laughing now. One day we'll all meet again and be like, remember that time we laughed about that? It's bloody true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear.
I know. We shouldn't have probably made fun of that.
Yeah, hey. You got to be careful what you laugh at. Anyway, people, we've come to 2 hours. That's it, what we got for the show. I hope you enjoyed what we had today. Yeah, so what did you fellas think of the green tablets, the emerald tablets? Doesn't sound so good when you say green.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
a topic that's been something I've looked at
Yeah,
forever. I loved it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm still digesting it at the moment because I don't know much about it. I'm just trying to figure out a few things about it. It is interesting, but did it actually say on that tablet, does it say the word Atlantis?
No, the guy who wrote it comes from Atlantis. He says who he was. I read that. He says, come from Atlantis.
How do we know?
He survived Atlantis.
How do we know that Atlantis is actually Atlantis? Because Egypt was actually Khem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. It's like my place here, like it's called Bendemeer, but it's actually Mullarindi.
Yeah.
So they changed names.
And there's a place here called Parramatta, as actually was the place of the eels, and it was Parramatta was actually named, but now they call it Parramatta, not Parramatta.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they keep changing names.
And America was America, not America. It was America.
Yeah,
no, that was
America.
The name. Yeah, America. Yeah, you're right there. Atlantis could be added something else. It could be pronounced totally different.
We just overlooked it every time we read up on something. So there could be more information out there, but we just haven't noticed it yet.
Yep. Yeah, because you've got to add all these things, like the difference in the names. The fact that Thoth was the same person, but they called him something different. You know, yeah, all these have to come into calculation when you look at something, especially when it comes to...
Well, like I said, I believe there's actually a carving of Thoth out here. But I'm pretty sure they used to call him the Nameless One.
Right.
And he just basically brought knowledge and technology to here. So he's basically the same bloke, just in different cognito, as they put it.
Yeah, different look, yeah. Well, you don't see the real unless he actually did have a thin chicken beak, like he was a ibis.
Yeah, but if you look over the world, though, Luna, you can see, which is really weird, like half man, half lion, half man, half horse.
Yep.
Were they doing experiments back then, or what?
Yep, they were. They were
I'm pretty
technological advanced like we are now, and they went, let's splice some genes and see what we come up with. And that's what I said the story ages ago, where this place was supposed to be a beautiful place. And then others come along and applied their thinking to it and started mucking around with stuff, and they had to send medicine that would work over a very long period of time. And we're seeing that medicine working now.
like back then they were like, for want of a better word, they were hot rodding a T model Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's I can put it down to be.
They did a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. They try to make it go better or faster or last longer. Oh, we'll do this. No, that didn't work. We'll chuck that aside. Do this. That didn't work. We'll chuck that on the side. And then, we got all these what's-her-names around. How to get rid of it? One big giant flood. That'll clean up the bloody neighbourhood a bit.
There's been more than one flood.
Yeah, I know there's been more than one flood.
Different
but it got rid of the stuff-ups, as they put it.
Yeah. And we're doing it today, though. So, you know, I'm expecting something like that because of what they're doing. They're doing the same stuff. We're same technology, same stuff. But this time we made a lot of useless items. That's the difference. I looked back and I went, gee, we've made a lot of useless items that don't go back to the earth this time. All the other ones all went back to the earth. They used they used the rocks and all that stuff, and what they wore and made was all still natural. I think this is the first time we've made artificial things like plastic and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
and useless items.
Yeah. I watched a video there once, and I thought it made me laugh. This lady got on, I think it was on TikTok, was what he showed me. And, you know, them reusable bags you got?
Yep.
And she started pulling out a grocery order. And she said, this is a reusable bag. But then she pulled out, this is wrapped in plastic. And she pulled out another, this is wrapped in plastic. And this is wrapped in plastic. Yep. We're using reusable bags. It didn't make sense if you have a look at it that way.
It's exactly right, Donnie. You're right. You go to the shop, you take your bag, your cloth bag, so you can use it again. They give you products wrapped in plastic. Unwrap the plastic, leave the packaging at the shop, and take your item home. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, we should do it that way.
Because in the old days, you used to go and get stuff. You take your own bag and they'd scoop it out and weigh it and give it to you unpackaged. You had to take your own package virtually.
Yeah. I remember, but bread was wrapped in wax paper.
So do I.
And I remember you went to the butcher shop, you got wrapped in what they call butcher's paper.
White paper.
Not plastic.
Yep, and your milk come in glass. Glass
bottle. Milk came in glass.
Yeah, that when the milkman picked them up, they got melted down and recycled, and you got them next week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that system. That was a pretty good system. We were recycling already because we were melting down the glass and making a new bottle out of the old bottle. So it was nice and clean, ready to go. Yep. What do you do when you got what is it, Donnie? There is no cure for stupid.
No, I've got a big toolbox. I haven't got a tool in there to fix stupid.
No medicine I know to fix stupid.
Yeah. They're probably still there.
You know what do you know what the cure for stupid is? Stupid should hurt. If stupid hurt people, then maybe people would stop being stupid.
That's a good one. Is that why our mob pick up sticks and hit you when you're doing something too? Make it hurt. That's funny.
Yes. They should learn how to bloody recycle. Like I made my gates out of old trampolines, and they work pretty well.
Yeah. Use what
always recycle. I don't take anything.
Yeah, people don't do that anymore, Donnie. They go, oh, it's broken, throw it away and we'll buy the newest one.
Yeah.
We'll get a new one.
Throw away the quality we got today, eh?
Yeah, throw it away. And you can see that reflected in everything. You know, oh, it doesn't work no more, chuck it away. Don't try and fix it, just throw it away. No, don't do that. All right then, people, that's it.
Ending is better than mending.
Yes, that's why ending is better than mending. That's all I got for you this week, people. Hope you enjoyed the emerald tablets and our yarn. Sometimes our yarns have got more information in them than what we're presenting, you know.
Yeah, we sort of got off the subject there, didn't we?
Oh, that's all right. That's what the fire's about. It goes this way and that way. But do you want to plug Polly's show? Check it out. When is it? Tomorrow and the next day, Polly?
Yeah, but you'll be on Sunday. Well, Sunday my time. It'll be. Yeah, it'll be.
I'll be on Polly's show.
We're gonna do a origin of music story kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to it because I've been saving up for this show a whole bunch of things.
Where's it going to be?
Sorry?
Where's it going to be?
Oh, on the Independent Broadcast Network.
On Jimmy's network.
Yeah, it's
radio show.
intothemicrocosm.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
you know that I'm not.
Send you a link in Discord if you want.
I'm not that tech savvy.
We'll send you a link, Donnie. So
no worries, you send the link there, look.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, then. We're going to finish up now. Loves you on this day. Remember, crowd loves you. Stay centered, stay positive, and stay on a high vibration. Thank you for coming. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. Thank you, Polly, for joining us. Thank you, Donnie, for coming. Thank you, Jules, for dropping in earlier. Thank you in the chat room, and thank you who's watching tomorrow or the next day or in the future sometime. Yep. Stay connected. Stay cool. Yalu. See you later.
Yalu.
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 Till next time.